Hi guys, this is Fiona. My friends call me Fee.
Hi, my name is Susan. My friends call me Sue.
And this is Dear Bride. So tell us, what are we talking about today?
No, it's you to tell
Oh,
us.
it's me to tell. Oh.
You're the Genesis. The beginning.
Yes,
In the beginning,
it happened first
there
before.
was Fiona and
Yeah, and Steve. So, Steve and I were friends, have been friends. We're talking about how we basically met our spouses,
Yeah.
So Steve and I had been friends. So how we met is I had been invited by Sue's husband to the church that he was then, going to. And I
Connector
decided,
of Destinies.
I know. And I decided, why not? So I actually joined his church, and it was a very good, experience. And I decided to actually be a member there. And that is how I actually met Steve, because Steve had then also joined the same church.
Can you hear, ladies? Go to church. Go to church.
And so we became good friends, and along the way, I was appointed a leader. So just to mention that as we were friends, he's actually the one who appointed me a leader because he's a pastor. There was no connection then.
He should have a vision.
Have a vision.
He should be able to identify.
Listen to the Lord. Anyway,
Should we mention that he actually wears specs, so he has a vision, and he can see twice, and he's paid to see.
he pays to see?
Yes.
Anyway, so
What more?
we became good friends, and he appointed me a leader, not because we were friends, but because he had heard about me. I was then a leader at a Bible study called K Crew, and he had heard about me. So when he heard I joined this church,
You should be a genius.
when he had
A
heard
good
I
leader.
joined this church, he
Yeah.
was like, yo, she's led before, and people know about her, so why not? So yeah, I gladly accepted, because then of course, after prayer and consideration, I felt the Lord had spoken, and I became a leader there, and we served together. And along the way, I think
You should
he
actually
developed
mention-
interest.
What Fiona is not mentioning is, you remember we mentioned in our first episode that we both sing.
Yes.
So in this scenario, Fiona was actually a leader in the worship
In the
team.
worship team, yes, very important.
Glorious voice. And then
Very
we should also
important.
mention that Steve was the youth pastor. Ladies in the youth church, if you don't go to church, you better begin now. Hallelujah.
Yeah, he was actually the youth pastor. So we served together nicely. Truth be told, I never had interest. In campus, people used to call me Mommy Pastor, but then I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I froze any thoughts of us in my head. I was like, this can't happen. No, it's not going to
Denial.
happen. So anytime he would, try get to know me better, I would practically run away. I would see him coming, and I take the next
I don't
route
know if
out.
that's a recipe, but
You
I don't
know.
know about denial being a recipe, but it worked in this scenario.
But then he kept asking me to, sit down with him and have a conversation with him. And I thought, okay, you've pushed, why not? And I
Yeah.
actually sat down with him, and we had a good conversation. And funny enough, we went silent after that. Quiet for like a year. We went silent. We
Hey.
kept serving and being good friends.
Yeah.
But then I started noticing that I was developing interest, but I kept blocking it.
Yeah.
And then he one day just invited me for coffee.
Yani
And
you
told me
guys
you-
stayed in denial for a full year.
Imagine.
Yeah? So you see
Imagine.
each other in church.
And we would serve together.
I can't believe
Nicely. Like, but we would keep it at
How?
serving.
I don't believe
and
it.
nothing
I don't
else
believe you.
for full year.
But you know,
know.
the way we say women's can actually,
I know,
you
we
can
can
do the
actually
thing.
do. I was doing that thing.
You were
I think I was just
surviving.
in, But I actually he's a very good person. He has a nice personality, admirable personality. And so I actually liked him, but then I was like, hey, this is a shepherd. Oh no, I cannot be part of the flock. that is actually distracting the shepherd.
You are the sheep.
And so I kept to my lane.
You are the sheep.
And decided to
and
keep
he was
to my
shepherding
lane.
you.
But ultimately, when he decided to actually sit me down and have a serious conversation, and I gave in and we had a serious conversation, he was very straightforward. I was actually shocked that we have such people in this generation. He went straight to the point that,
Guys.
you know, I have prayed about this and the Lord has spoken. But, you know, he has to speak to both of us. It's
After
not those
denial.
ones for,
Yeah.
he has spoken to this party and you have no idea.
Yeah.
So I had actually had it, but I was in denial. So he asked me, and he went straight to the point. I would want you to be my wife.
Guys, you see the recipe after denial. Just go straight to the point. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
Now that you're putting it like that, he actually told me, and
Yeah.
guess what? He told me, now because I want you to be my wife, think about it. You'll give me the reply.
Yeah.
Immediately you say yes if you say yes, because you know you can't actually force someone.
Exactly.
If you say yes,
Yeah.
I would want you to tell your parents about it.
Have you heard that you shoot your shot, and after you've shot your shot, if the Lord speaks to both of you, awesome. If he doesn't,
So of course, you you
So we
go
are
back
not
to the drawing
advocating
book.
for those
It's
guys
not
who
like we are
say-
saying at when a guy comes and tells
the
you,
Lord has spoken
the
to
Lord. You just say yes. No, we are not
You
saying
have to
that.
consult your God.
Both of you
Yeah.
have to actually be on the same page.
I know, right?
Because we were on the same page.
Yes.
Just that.
Because if that God is speaking to you, he can speak to me
to
too.
me, yeah, it has to be both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after of course I pulled that card. Give me time. I have to think about it.
Those days, kwanza everyone.
Yeah,
I'm
you have
going
to pull
pray.
that card for I'm going to
pray.
think about it. Give me time. So I pulled that card, and he allowed me time. And definitely, I didn't take the 2-3 weeks that I had said. I said yes before that, but then that's how we practically met. And I said yes, and
The rest is history. As
so
the
tell us,
Englishman tell
say,
us.
Wahenga.
Vile wahenga husema na wahenguzi. In
Yeah.
the beginning, there was Victor and Susan.
Hey.
Mine is a plot twist. So if you have watched our first episode, you'll remember that Fiona and I were auditioning for a band, or rather a group.
A group that
At
was to
first,
minister at a
yes.
conference together.
Yes. So we ministered at the conference. That this was in 2014. In the midst of this conference, we had mains, and one of the mains was Victor, who is now my
So
husband.
did you like Victor then? Tell us.
Let me just tell you, I didn't. I did not, guys. I did not. We were brother and sister in the Lord.
Wow, sister zone, brother zone.
I had brother zoned him. He had sister zoned me.
Men.
And the plot twist is I was dating someone who was within the same group. So
Ooh.
that is why he was brother zoned and sister zoned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brothers, don't give up. When someone is out there, brother, zoning you, and you feel like there could be hope.
The Lord
There
is
could
by
be
your
hope.
side.
Tell us more. So how come that you are Nini and you're in the same circle and then
So the interesting bit is now years later, like years later.
Yeah.
I ended up leaving the relationship that I was in, and then thereafter, I think a year later, me, I was done. I was like, I'm so done with
relationship
men.
have broken.
You know the way.
I can't do this
not
no
all
more.
of us girls, but some of us girls, after we leave a relationship, we're like, I'm so done.
Yeah,
I want to
work on
cleansing.
myself.
Want to work on myself.
Want
to take myself
self-love.
on dates. I'm
Self-love.
independent. I want
But
to
it's
work on
not
my money.
bad. Don't overdo it.
Yes. So, just telling you that this sister was really working on her relationship with God. I want to
Focusing
date
on
God. I want
her.
to date Jesus. Those girls who date Jesus, well, I was in your club a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but then actually now when I think about it, that year I dated myself. If there's anything like dating yourself.
Dating yourself.
Yeah, at that point I had like a good job. I could take myself on dates, coffee dates.
Looking
Yeah,
glad
buy
and
myself
all.
books, getting into the culture of reading and
Woo.
sharpening
Tell us
my
about
mind.
it.
And
Tell us
being
about
ready.
it. Speak.
Wewe unanichocha wewe.
No. self-love, and you were working on me.
I was working on it, but I wasn't toxic. There's toxicity in this. Oh, I need to work.
That would say, oh, so you're working on yourself because you're toxic.
Yes.
I know. You're not toxic.
Kidogo, I was in denial that the relationship had ended. So
I feel you. I knew about it. I feel you.
I know, right? But there's a friend of mine who told me, Susan, you just need to move on.
Yeah.
So back in the background, my mother is an intercessor.
Hallelujah. Oh, mothers, where are you?
We honor.
Do you pray for your children, mothers?
I know, right?
You know, by the way, yeah.
So my mom
that's a
was an
very important
intercessor,
point.
and at that point, she was like, Susan, I feel like this is your season for marriage, so you need to, interact.
Woo.
Be intimate more with God so that He can reveal the things He has for you.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's where now I intentionally started praying about my spouse. Ooh. So in this scenario, the way ideally you would go to therapy and work on yourself, in this scenario, I was in the presence of God.
Wow.
And we were working on this.
Hallelujah.
He was working in me and on me.
Wow.
And so the biggest coincidence is the things I journaled through that period in my life was exactly what I would now learn, or how do we say it? At that point, he was not my boyfriend.
Victor was not, because Victor was then my friend, and you were in the same circle and just friends.
So at that point, those are things that he was going through, which I didn't know. So I was praying for those things.
Single.
I know, right? See Jesus, it's God. Yeah, so ideally in this scenario, those things that I journaled about later on, when now we were interacting, when he now started pursuing me, when in our conversations as we are talking, I'm like, wait, this is just a confirmation tick. This is a confirmation tick. So for me, unlike you, I didn't have to go back and pray. Yes.
Oh, by the way, I didn't go back and pray.
I know.
Been in denial for a whole year. I knew it, but I was running away from it because mommy pastor.
Yes. Yeah. So for me, God had actually already confirmed things. So I remember speaking to one friend of mine, Esmo, when Victor texted me. We usually did text. Zile za random yenye you'll send each other memes and whatnot. But then this time round, he texted me and he's like, unaonaje story ya meme na wewe? So, meme. So he put the word meme to ideally mean me. What do you think about me and you in this story? I lengared that story. I was like, me, I'm not
happening.
You remember, guys, I was in the season of me, even though I'm praying for a husband, but so I lengared the story. Then I told my friend as well. I was like, hey, Victor has texted me and he's asked this question. What do you think? So that's why, guys, you need to have good friends who help
advise you nicely.
Yes, who advise you nicely. And that's why I was like, that's such a brilliant man.
Wow.
You need to think about it again. Go back there and answer that answer.
Just guide you nicely
answer
so
that
that
text.
You just don't lose it. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how I ended up responding to the text. And as anyone who knows me knows, I'm very inquisitive. So I asked him so many questions.
Yeah.
So from there, it's history. We started dating. And we got married.
Oh, look at you. That is really good. I think what we did mention is that we have, in one way or the other, interacted in each other's journey towards meeting our spouses.
Exactly.
Towards, as you have seen,
I know.
I was Victor's friend and we were serving in the same, and Victor, was being pastored by we are just
family.
one happy. In one way or the other, our journeys have been interacting and we've been talking through, when Victor told me there's Susan and this is happening, I was so excited.
I know. So now the interesting bit is now my friends, he went behind my back,
of course,
talking to my friends, and then they were like, yeah, we went down.
Hey, this one.
So you need good friends, guys. You need good friends.
True.
In this journey of relationships, and I think that's why weddings are such a community.
Yeah, because in one way or the other, say for example, while Victor invited me to his church, and that is where I actually got to. So in one way or the other, probably there's someone who will call you somewhere and without even, because he wasn't really at a meaning he would, but who knows? Keep going to those places nice places. where your friends call you. You never know.
Yes.
And don't completely shut yourself out.
Yes, even
of,
after heartbreak.
you know, yeah.
Just keep doing you. And the right person will find you.
Yeah, or even stereotyping this type of a person. What we didn't mention is that we're also from different communities. My husband and I are from different,
Yes, tribal communities.
tribal,
Yes, yes.
And same to her.
Same to myself.
And you see, would have probably said, from, just don't. You never know. And things work and they're beautiful. They turn out so beautiful.
I know.
And so nice.
Yeah.
So having said that, I think we need to mention that I have been married for 4 years, heading 5. In May we turn 5 years. My 5th anniversary.
Well, should we say the year of the Lord, which is 2?
That's true.
But for me, we have been married for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're in our 3rd year. We turned 3 this year, actually.
Woo, that is really good. And just to let them know that we will actually, because now we've mentioned that we are actually from different tribes, we will actually now tell you how we introduced
Our people
to our parents. It's a story.
I know there's a lot to unpack. Completely.
Given that scenario. Yeah.
But if we are seated here, it means it was a success.
True. 5 years on, you will get to hear those stories, and you'd probably tap 1 or 2 things from it. So keep it locked. You will hear that story. We will tell you the black and white of it. Hakuna kuficha. We will be candid.
Yeah.
Pride and candid.
We are here for you.
Yes.
This is the community you needed.
Yeah, keep it locked.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to subscribe and leave a comment down below on how you met your spouse.
Exactly.
They should actually tell us their stories.
Tell us.
Their spouses. Yeah.
On to the next episode.
My name is Fee.
My name is Sue.
And this is Dear Bride.